Hello, W9TVX here. This is the third in a series of videos on SDRStudio. And in this video, we will dive a little deeper into the widget composer. I highly recommend you watch the first two videos. The first video was a brief overview of the application, and the second video was a brief overview of the widget composer. So the way we're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive here is we're going to work on the slice control. This is a widget that ships with SDRStudio. It's part of the library widgets. And there are a couple of issues with it. There are a couple of bugs, and we're going to fix those bugs. And as part of that, hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about the editor. Before going any further, I just do want to do a little bit of a deep dive here into the left-hand side, the inspector. And specifically, I want to talk about these features here, what they mean. So first thing is, if your widget is, if you tick launchable, what that means is that the widget will appear in the widget library and you can associate it with a launch button. So it can actually be launched. If it's not checked, it won't be launchable. It won't appear in the widget library. The next one is placeable. By ticking placeable, what you're saying is that you want that widget to appear in the right panel here, which is our widget catalog. So it will appear in your user widgets. And that means that you can extend or modify the widget right here in the composer. And then finally, title bar, what that does is at runtime, by default, if the title bar is off, when you click on a launch button and the widget becomes visible, the window in which it's visible won't have a title bar. If you click on title bar, you'll get a title bar, and the bar will have the name of the widget, and you'll be able to double click on that bar to collapse and expand it. Okay, let's dive into this slice control. And specifically, there are two issues with it. The first one is, I'll go live right now. So now it's connected to my radio. The first one is, if I manipulate the off level knob, you'll notice that the threshold value knob changes as well. Ditto if I toggle the threshold knob. You'll notice up here that I have a threshold value and an off level. When I toggle the off level, the threshold goes, and when I toggle the threshold goes. So nothing's happening here with the off level. So we need to fix that, and we're going to do that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this off level button, and what you'll notice is that you get a selection rectangle around the mode, the off level, the threshold, and this AGC rectangle. You also notice that this button up here in the upper bar, in the toolbar of the canvas panel, is highlighted. That's because these components are grouped. And I can either come here to ungroup them, or I can left click and ungroup them right here. So now I've ungrouped them. So now I can click on each individual component. And what you'll see is if I click on the off level, down here under the property name, it says AGC off level. If I click on the threshold, it also says off level. So we need to fix that. And the way we fix that is by changing the property name. And we can do that either here in the left-hand inspector, in this inspectable right here, this property sheet. We can change it by just going to AGC threshold, or we can right-click, we can go to properties, we can go to property name and slice and AGC threshold. So now we have the threshold, and the default label is AGC threshold, and we don't want that. We want it to be threshold. So again, what we can do, we can scroll down here, we can go to label, we can expand label, and we can change that to threshold. Or if we wanted to, again, we could go to properties, we could go to label, and we could click on label right there, and we could edit it right here. Okay, so now off level is off level, threshold is threshold. So we still have another problem, but we'll go live to see what the issue is. So now, if I go off level, oops, we still see threshold. And the threshold button here is doing the off level. That's a problem. So let's go ahead and fix that. And by doing that, what we want to do is we want to look at these radio text components here. So we'll click on that. And again, we notice this one box. So these are a group. I can go up here and ungroup them. So now what I'll do is I will drag this rectangle out the way, and we'll click on this threshold right here. And we will see that the threshold is actually AGC off level. And we want that to be, it's a radio text component, as I was saying. And we want that to be AGC threshold. And the off level is AGC threshold, and we actually want that to be AGC off level. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll drag this guy back here, this rectangle, and I'm going to zoom in so we can get everything lined up nicely. And I'm using the cursor buttons here to just get everything lined up nicely. Okay, I think that looks okay, but I like to adjust it just a little bit more to the right. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select them, and I'm going to go back and group them. And good. All right. So now let's go back and make it a little bit. Let's make it a little bit regular size. We're going to make it 1. And we'll go to live. Now, hopefully, we see the threshold manipulates the threshold and the off level manipulates the off level. So we fixed that issue. So I'm going to save that right now. And then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about this widget and actually some of the components in it. For example, here we have the frequency component. I'm going to just drag it off. And it's just a knob. But the cool thing, this is a radio numeric component. And the cool thing about it is I can, if I wanted to show, there's a label that I could show right there. I've just happened to have hidden it. There's also a display. I could show a display which will actually show the frequency, and I can change the fonts on that. Again, because I wanted to set this up the way that I did, I just wanted it to be a knob. I can turn those all off and on. That's to say that there's tremendous flexibility here as to what you can do. And in subsequent videos, I'm going to go over each of these components and tell you what they can do and the power that they have and how you can modify them to create pretty much any kind of UI that you want. Anyway, I hope this was useful. Look out for additional videos that will be coming out over the next days, weeks, and months. And hopefully you'll give the application a try and you'll enjoy it. Thank you very much. This was W9TVX.